In my 2,000 subscriber live stream Q&A, I had expressed that one of the artists I wanted to do a collab with here on YouTube was Fantasy Creed. And shortly after that, the stars had aligned. In other words, I realized there was nothing stopping me from messaging Fantasy Creed myself and asking for a collab. And that's what we have today. The two of us put out community posts on each of our channels asking you all for some spooky Halloween words. And today we're going to be spinning wheels to randomly select 5 words for each of us for both wheels. So 4 drawings in total between the two of us and making some freaky monsters out of them. Let's create some chaos. All right.
Okay.
Word number 1.
He's sticking with the safe options chat. Ugh.
Oh, thank goodness.
Oh!
I don't know what I
That
would have
is
done
real.
for extortion.
Watch. I can tell you what extortion is.
Spider, not bad.
Solid. Let's go.
I know a few spiders. They're cool.
Yeah, not really.
No.
Is that a punch? Did you also? No, wait, no, wait. Oh. What?
All right. Timeline spider. Interesting combination. Word
Yeah,
number
already.
3.
Already. Is it going to be? Oh. Stalking.
Oh no.
Hey, I can hashtag relate to this. I can relate to that.
This was the
Let's go.
one word I was worried about getting because I don't know how to depict it. All right. Word number 4.
I'm not keeping track. Ooh. What does that mean?
I looked it up before, but I forget. Stygian, I believe it's pronounced. It is
Stygian?
so it's relating to the Styx River, but it just means very dark.
Oh. Okay. I'm learning new things. I was about to hey Siri it. Hey. Okay. Right.
All right, last word. Please be something good. Maybe some kind of other noun.
Why is it always? Oh,
Suffering.
okay.
All right.
Suffer. Hey, sounds familiar.
All right.
Amazing.
So this monster is Spider Timeline Stalking Stygian Suffering. Sure, why not?
All right.
Right off the bat, I don't like this drawing. But before you click away, let me explain. Spiders. That's it. That is the only reason I do not like it. Because of course, the word I had to roll was spiders. Thank you, Wheel of Names. You're really helpful. Love you. But because of this, I felt it necessary to look up spider anatomy to make sure I got the drawing correct. And not only do I feel like the anatomy of the spider was off in the way where research didn't benefit me, I also had to endure looking at pictures of spiders to, air quotes, study the anatomy. So please, like this video and also go watch Fantasy Creed's version after this to make my suffering worth it. Thank you. Now, for real, I did have some trouble deciding how I was going to incorporate all the words I spun for this one, specifically the words timeline and stalker, because they're more so timeline than stalker, but they are abstract concepts more or less. When I was making the wheels, I did have a few ideas of what I could do if I inevitably did roll the word stalker, which I did, but I didn't really like the ideas because all the ideas either had our main character monster with its back turned to the camera or having them off in the background. Neither of which I really liked because I felt like it would take away from the design itself. But when thinking about stalker in combination with the other words, I wound up with a idea that I felt really brought all of them together quite well. But of course, said idea would require me drawing more than one spider. Why do I do this to myself? I originally started making the piece before I decided that it was a little too bland for what I wanted and what I wanted to practice, even though that meant my original plan was easier and less time consuming. So I scrapped the original sketch and tried the same exact idea, except I made it at a really harsh angle looking up at the ceiling of this room. I really liked this because this new angle gave me more space to work with to include some of the elements that were outside of the actual character itself. In this drawing of this suffering Stygian timeline spider stalker, which has one T word out of the 5 of 4 S words in there, I made our main monster here peering into a crystal ball at his ex-girlfriend who is now with another spider. Stalking and suffering? Check. And also spider. Timeline was by far the hardest word to include, as it was the most abstract word in there, and was also the only word that starts with T, like I mentioned, but that one was out of my control. In my original idea, I wanted to have our spider monster in different time periods, or timelines, either getting rejected by this girl spider or having the girl spider make off with somebody else. But the webs I initially drew were really too small and too far into the background to really see anything that I wanted to frame them with or use as a frame. So I opted to just kind of projecting them on the 2 walls in this room we're looking at. And admittedly, they do get lost in the final piece once I lay down all the shading and rendering. But if you're watching through the art process of this work, I think you can get the general idea. In the end, I'm not a huge fan of the actual monster design itself, but I do really love how the harsh perspective came out, and I think that's the part that really saves this piece, is having it be a lot more dynamic than I originally intended. Considering I didn't teach myself anything between this video and the last one where I said I was initially practicing perspective, I think it turned out really good. Dude, like I said, I do wish I did a little bit more to design the monster part of it rather than just focusing on including all 5 of the words. But I do like how I gave the spider a little bit of hair and turned his pincers into a mustache. And even though our spider is suffering, it's still a little fun. For my words for my wheel, it was Stygian. I have it written down. I don't know why I'm going off of memory. Spider timeline, stalking Stygian, which means very dark, and suffering.
Oh, he's speaking. He's got a mustache. Is that a mustache?
I turned his pincers into a mustache just to give him a little personality.
It's okay. This is reminding me of my one video I did where someone thought I was talking when I was making my spider Sona. They thought an actual spider Sona. This is looking like a little spider Sona. Oh, that's amazing.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, and the reflections. It's looking like something out of a comic strip, honestly. With the reflections in the background and the orb. Okay.
Thank you.
And
yeah, I was trying to. So they do get a little blocked off, but if you look at the reflections in the walls, they're different like time periods. So in this one, he's got a cowboy hat, and the other one he's supposed to be holding a sword. But I took very dark a little too literally.
Yeah, no, that's a very tiny detail that I didn't even see, but that's really cool that it's in there.
Yeah, you really only make it out in the actual time lapse. Yeah. I think I put a little too much rendering where they get blocked out, unfortunately.
Oh well, I mean, we like to see hard work. Heck yeah. Oh, and the wooden texture on the little crystal ball holder. Nice.
Yeah, thank you.
I rate it 1 spider out of 10. Or no, wait, no, that came out wrong. Oh my gosh. I was thinking about High Boys, how he rates movies and stuff. He's like 1 corn kernel out of this movie thing, but anyway, I like it. Very cool.
Thank you.
Very nice. Show me the wheel. Maybe I'll pick 1 of each and then maybe 2 adjectives or something depending on the combination.
Okay, so you want to go 1 at a time?
Yeah, 1 at a time. How about that?
All right.
Okay.
Noun is...
Oh, Oh, I almost got beast. Okay, jack-o'-lantern.
Okay. That's a
Okay,
good one.
that's strong.
Yeah, so your jack-o'-lantern monster will be doing... Oh.
No, he's. Oh my god.
Oh.
Why is oozing in both places? Watch me get double ooze.
Adjective number 1.
What? Psychological.
Thriller.
Okay,
But you'll also have this adjective to lean on.
I like that. Okay, at least we got a skeleton boy.
All right, and your final verb / adjective / noun thingy is...
Are we gonna go Loki season 2 with this? Sup, KyngPin watchers? I hope I'm not intruding too much on the spooky month video. I swear it was all King's idea. Well, enough of my yapping, onto the impossible challenge of turning random words into something monstrous. Jack-o'-lantern, oozing, psychological thriller, skeletal, and timeline. Okay, what? I wasn't exactly oozing with self-confidence when these words were bestowed upon me by Lady Fate herself. I was unprepared, bamboozled, confused, hopeless, but not yet ready to surrender. I started out by writing down each prompt and my translation, per se, for that prompt. It wouldn't do me any good if I lost sight of, what I was choosing to do for psychological thriller or something. So I wrote down exactly what I thought each term meant, or what Google told me it meant, and then how exactly it could work into the image, the final product. And then I just slapped down a really quick sketch of the overall composition of the scene, of, what I wanted it to look like, how do I, just to make sure I wasn't, 1, missing any prompts, and 2, wouldn't lose sight of the general colors, themes, ideas that originally popped into my mind. Because if I had spent any longer thinking about this, I would probably have lost all visual on the end product. My immediate thought for the word jack-o'-lantern was, of course, to put it on this monster's head, because where else would it go? Stomach? Nah, I'm basic here. Skeletal was an easy adjective to incorporate, and I'll tie that in by making the bones look like stems. Oozing really stumped me, but I finally decided to make a gelatinous body of sorts around the bones, clinging, oozing from the head and falling to the ground in wretched tendrils. It was pretty hard to place the bones in such a way to make them look anatomically accurate. I'm just faking it till I'm making it over here, but I think it turned out mostly believable. I wanted this picture to have an eerie, dark atmosphere, so I placed the monster in a haunted pumpkin patch, abandoned, choked with weeds. A harvest moon rises behind it, and I framed the picture with dark foliage, as though I was actually witnessing some monstrous Halloween shenanigans. Now, finally, after I had a skeleton of an idea down, I began thinking of the hardest prompts of all, timeline and psychological thriller. Who the heck put these in the comment section, and why? How exactly am I supposed to plug these in? A timeline is something used for books and crimes and establishing a history, so it's a really hard thing to blend into a drawing of physical beings. I did my best by adding a clock nestled in the bigger form's ribs, the universal device for showing time, and I added some glowing lines leading to the little one's head. Timeline, right? I could have added a sundial instead of a clock, but that sounded like effort, and it was gonna be nighttime, so nah. I'm thinking the little creature is how this monstrosity begins, starting out as a tiny, harmless-looking monster. However, at some point in time, it grows into a destructive beast lurking in pumpkin patches. This little storyline also kind of works into the prompt of psychological thriller, as that exact type of thriller is supposed to make the watcher paranoid, anxious, and confused. How could this innocent child-sized creature grow up to become such a hideous beast? The changes are sudden, I'm thinking. They happen when it's least expected. Perhaps the growth even reverses at times, so it can continue luring in victims, as though it's saying, look, I'm not growing, I'm still harmless. Perhaps it can only transform into its beastly form at certain points in the night, or under certain moon phases at certain times of the year. I think it works as a solid storyline, I guess. I also think my recording is slightly corrupted, so if you see like weird sections of discolored footage, then I'm sorry, it got corrupted. My mic is also having issues, so just wasn't my day. Anyway, here is my oozing skeletal jack-o'-lantern psychological thriller timeline. That was a mess of word salad that I didn't think I'd be saying this year, but here it is. I hope you like how I tried, or failed, to incorporate all my prompts. How do you think I did? For your video, I got jack-o'-lantern, oozing, psychological thriller, skeletal, and timeline as well, because someone wanted us to fail. Someone is cackling because they're like, aha, yes, how do I screw up artists? Abstract concepts. So, I did this, which I think it's like a jack-o'-lantern monster. And I have the skeleton, the things, Oh yeah, and you know when you went more literal with timeline, I literally just went time with lines. Okay, listen.
Nah, that's smart. I like that.
See, I wasn't gonna try. I wasn't gonna try.
Wow, that's... Once again, the background work is incredible.
Yeah, thanks. I had to blur it all. I was so worried because I was like, blur that, okay?
The blurring, I think the blurring does actually work for the whole piece because it
Oh, nice.
lends itself to showing the scale of this monster.
Yeah. Oh, true. True. Okay, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Yeah, no, this is awesome. The size of the demon, the bones again.
Yo, thanks. Okay, I had to look up how a pelvis works because I was failing. I was like, how pelvis?
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine.
Hey, bones. Oh, how I plugged in psychological thriller, because again, that was like, it's an abstract concept. It's a genre.
Exactly.
How do I do that? So instead, I decided to like kind of like 3 eyes here instead of 2, you know, the typical thing. And then also the bones aren't actually bones. They're pumpkin stems.
Oh my gosh, that's smart.
It's kind of like messing with your brain. How does this work? And then also the fact like how he attached to the clock in this guy's chest. What does this have? Oh, hold on. Back up.
Yeah, I really like it. It makes it lends itself to a very unique design.
Hey, thanks. But that's what I did.
That's
that is
awesome.
all.
Nice work.
I have no more. Yo, thanks. No more brain cell left. Why is this thing here? Okay. There we go. But yeah.
Was this kind of challenging to do, both in learning new things and incorporating some of the words, some more than others? Yeah. Was it fun? Absolutely. I am so glad that I got to do this with Fantasy Creed. And boy, do I love character and monster design. And if you're a regular on this channel, you'll know this is the part where I usually have you vote on certain categories for both of these drawings. But unless you're coming from Fantasy Creed's video, you have no idea what this second guy looks like. So instead of that, make sure to click the link right here to go check out Fantasy Creed's side of the collab, where I've sneakily hidden away one of my monsters. Thank you all so much for watching. My name is KyngPin Creations, and I will see all of you in the next video. Take care, everybody.